Hi guys, my name is Rebecca Toe from the Queen's School of Business in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Full-time MBA alumni class of 2014. Today I'm here to answer the question, so you decide to go back to business school. Now what? Really, there's two big decisions and steps that you need to take. The first one is getting in and taking the GMAT at that. And I know that when it comes to the GMAT, a lot of you have questions and you're scared, but really it's just like any other test or interview that you would go into. First, you've got to prepare, get to know what the test is all about, study, of course, and then go into the test feeling like, I got this, I know the subject matter. And you're going to hear this from everybody that you're going to ask advice from. Start early and study early. And really why that's important is what I mentioned before. You want to make sure that by the time you go into the test, you feel like you've got a solid grasp on really what types of questions to expect and how you're going to attack them. And studying early will give you this because you're going to practice and practice and practice, taking those practice tests. You're going to see, okay, well, what types of questions are on there? And what's my approach for going at this question? So that when it comes to test day, you're not surprised and you've at least seen every single type of question, almost, hopefully, at least once before going into the exam. The other part of it is really getting back into that student mode, I like to call it, or the test-taking mode, because for some of us, especially those that are going back to get your MBA, it may have been a while since you've taken an exam or you've studied or you've gone back to class. So one of the things that I actually did to get me into the study mode for not only taking the GMAT, but also ultimately going back to school is I recognized it'd been a while since I'd taken some of those quant classes like accounting and stats. So leading up to going back to school and taking the GMAT at least 2 years before, I do plan early, I enrolled into night classes in local community colleges to take stats again and take accounting again. Yes, I was probably one of the oldest people in the room, but I think that ultimately it was worth it because it got me back into that study mode, like I mentioned, and it really made me feel energized to be in that environment again. And so the other thing that I did was I did enroll in a test prep course because although I can take tests when it comes to these types of standardized tests, GMAT, SAT, things like that, I've always been a really nervous test taker. And it's more than just knowing the subject matter. I think the other thing that often these types of tests are looking for is your logic, the way you approach questions. And ultimately, the two things, which is a solid foundation for, say, quant skills or verbal skills, as well as really having a grasp on how am I going to approach certain types of questions, is really the key to success when it comes to these types of tests and what they're looking for at that. So that's why I decided to take a test prep class, which is not to say that everybody needs to, I just personally needed to. So taking the test prep class, starting really early for me so that I was comfortable with, okay, well, this is how I'm going to approach the types of questions. And then also going back to take night classes really helped me personally. And that's something I encourage that you guys look into too. Again, I always talk about using your resources that are available to you smartly so that you don't feel unprepared, right? When you need help, there's going to be something out there that will help you. The other thing is the essays, writing the application part. Really start early again because not everybody is going to be a strong writer, and starting early gives you time to think about your story. And more, this is really, really important. And it's not going to be important just your application. It's going to be a part of who you are, your interviews, even when you're in the MBA and it's time to go and interview for jobs post-MBA, your story is going to be so important. And ultimately, if your story is strong, meaning you know it, you're honest about it, who you are, where you come from, why you want to go back to school, what decisions have you made or experiences have you had in your life that have led back to this decision to go back to school? Really, that's going to be what resonates, I think, with the administrators, I guess, the people who are reviewing your applications, the applications board, whatever it is, whoever is going to read it. Whoever reads your essay should be able to think clearly, okay, this is Rebecca. I get a sense for who she is, why she wants to go to school, and I really want to know more about her. I want to meet her in person. I want to invite her for an interview. And yeah, I think she would represent our school really well. So start early and get those essay questions answered. Get everybody you can to read them, people who know you well, maybe even somebody who doesn't know you as well. Because then really that's a good test, right? If somebody who doesn't know you as well can pick up a piece of paper, read your story, and get a sense for who you are, then you know you did a good job. So those are my tips for getting in and taking the GMAT. The other part that is equally important, and if not more important, is deciding where you want to go to school. And a lot of people, I feel like, might skip this step or not put as much weight as they should to it. Maybe you'll think about it, and yeah, you might visit 1-2 schools, and really your decision might come down to brand. But no matter what the brand is of the school, it's important that that brand aligns with what your goals are and who you are. Is it a fit? You hear a lot about this concept of fit. And really how you're going to find out is by visiting those schools. And don't just visit the top one that you already feel like, okay, that's the one I'm going to go to, just based off of what you've heard other people say or read in brochures. Go visit at least 3, 5 of them, the ones that are on your list, the ones that have qualities and attributes of what you're looking for in a school. And really then that helps you validate the culture. And also you get to meet some of the current students, the teachers, the faculty. And that's really going to be very important because you have to think about it. It's a huge investment, and not an investment of just money, but time. And it's going to be an experience that you'll probably never be able to have again in your life, going back to business school. So it's really important that it's one that you enjoy and not just get, say, a degree out of or a job out of, right? And you have to make sure it's somewhere you want to live as well. Some people don't realize that their lifestyle is actually very important. And when your lifestyle doesn't match the environment that you're in, it could lead to you being not as strong, not feeling as happy, and maybe you don't even realize why, but it's something to really consider. And for those of you who need some sort of formula or method to do this, I suggest rank the qualities of things that you're looking for in a school, and things that are important to you, lifestyle, distance from family, etc., etc., and maybe put a weight to each of those factors and then score them up if you need to. So those are my tips for you guys for tackling the 2 biggest decisions when it comes to what's the next step once you decided to go back to business school. 1, prepare for the GMAT early. Write your application essays early so that you have time to really practice and lay a foundation and tell a good story. And 2, make sure that the schools are truly a good fit for what matters to you and go visit them. So that's it. Good luck.